你都不知道你自己房间里还分头嘞，
对啊，他卖产品啊。
Hello.
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 Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can Wait.
Who is in now? No, Davina and Esther.
Hello, Mingchu.
Huh?
And David.
Oh, I know already because I didn't join video. No wonder. Hi.
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 I was waiting for people to join video, then I joined.
Oh,
Because even like the teacher not yet start with like, hey, hello.
yeah, lah. We wait for the teacher a bit. I check with my friends first.
Hi, Jeff.
Hello.
Nice cover. Really, really enjoying. The song was stuck in my head the whole day.
Can you guys see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, so canggih weh.
Very good. Wait, let
Mac.
me check. Let me
Mac
check
what?
whether the LogicProX sound is coming into Zoom.
Priscilla is joining.
Can you hear the song?
Can
Can hear me talking also? Can hear me talking?
Yes.
Okay.
I love the cover.
Wait, say.
Oh yeah. Where are they? Where are the rest?
The rest means Priscilla and here. Right? I think she's joining, right?
Nixon and Chris might maybe.
Right. Let me just holler at them.
Yoo-hoo. You makan already?
Chris,
Yep.
makan already. Who's Chris? Who Chris?
It's the Maloyos. Hey, Arvin, you're recording already. Okay.
Yaga.
Oh, I can see you. Where are you? At beach? You miss Tanjung Aru a lot, is it?
No lah, my room too messy. All the boxes behind packed one.
Oh.
Yo. Shield.
What time is your CG meeting?
Oh, Nixon is at waiting room. What's a waiting room?
Wait, Arvin, why you made them wait?
How to accept
The waiting room need to pay one.
Oh, ada 3 orang.
You lock them down. You lock them down.
Oh, Arvin,
Lock up.
your background is so over. Well. Hey, how you do that one?
You just go to the video there, just select the virtual background.
Video there.
Inside the video, you see the small arrow? beside the on-off video, you click the small arrow. There's a choose virtual background.
Wow, I just want to change our house.
Also, arrow. Okay, I see. No, it's not.
Can you see my
Wrong.
screen? Can you see my?
Yeah,
I
your
think you
screen,
can't. Can you
Oh
see
yeah,
this?
see your screen. We're seeing your screen. Yeah, we're seeing your screen.
Can you see this stop video button? I think you can't see the Zoom's control panel lah.
Oh,
It doesn't
you
show you.
stop the stop video. Beside there got the arrow, right? Then you choose virtual background. Then you add your background in. Then can already.
Beside my stop video is share and mute.
No.
No, there's a small
Are
arrow.
you're using phone? Is it?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm using phone. Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Phone cannot.
Mine lah. Teach you next time.
Oh, you guys is computer or like PC. Okay. No wonder.
Yeah, you can do this. Rotate.
Oh, Mingju, I like how your screen, your background, right? There's a Mingju, right? And then you are like, yeah, you're fitting exactly at that spot. So funny.
We're still here.
Hey, is that how you go for classes? Even
Yeah.
if you leave, people will still think you're there.
Yeah. Some people use GIF lah, even look alike.
Oh, it's
Okay lah,
Mingchu with SP Zoom, you do like that lah.
yeah, I showed him before. Then he was laughing. I said, okay, next time I do that. It's like after the game we have a debrief done, then I show him. Okay.
Wow,
All
Avin looks like
all-
you're gonna make a music cover already.
All in ah.
In the
Oh, okay.
All in
Can start.
already.
Can start lah.
Hello, Nixon and Christopher.
I can't see
And-
Nixon. Nixon is here. Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
do.
Okay already. Oh here.
And
Okay.
You don't want to say hi.
Hi Nixon. Hi
hi,
siapa?
Priscilla.
Hi Priscilla. Hi
Hi, Priscilla.
Chris.
Hi, everybody.
Okay.
Priscilla, don't feel shy.
So
Are we gonna use your Logic Pro?
yours is the sample lah. Okay. So we everyone knows have used Logic Pro before, and you who haven't used it?
Me.
Okay. Priscilla, Davina, like I think you all know how to use kan?
Wow. Jun.
Okay.
I think
So
Nixon
this-
also know a bit.
Nixon.
Nixon-
Actually, those who use GarageBand also is similar lah. But I saw
Nixon-
GarageBand is is like more simplified lah.
Nixon is very quiet. Nixon use GarageBand.
Okay. Okay. So basically, this is when you open Logic Pro, you won't see all this lah. This is all empty. Then you see here, this is like track 1, track 2. So you can add how many tracks you want. So what does this mean is each track has its own sound lah. Like this one, first track is, what is this? First track, I still can't remember.
Avin, I have a
first-
question. Is this the one that you said only for MacBook users one?
Yeah. Logic Pro is only for Mac.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Logic
The
Pro. is for
concept
Mac.
are similar. Concept are similar one for the
But
other
there
apps.
are other softwares also lah. Later I share is similar lah. So once you know this, you can apply to other software also.
Oh.
This one,
Yeah.
this software and the actual mixer, is it slightly the same?
Same, actually it's almost the same.
Oh.
This one is like the mixer view is here. The down here you can see this thing. This is like the mixer view lah.
Oh.
This thing. So if you add many channels, a lot of channels will be here lah. Now we only have 2 channels. Then this one later I show you what is it lah. So first you need a source. So this is your source page. So you can see the first one is the guitar channel. So this is Davina's recording, is just the acoustic guitar. Then we rename lah, so easy to refer.
Nice.
Okay, so acoustic guitar and vocals. This one I don't know. This one I also never did before. One you can learn from Priscilla.
What's that?
Later Priscilla need to teach me also what does all this mean. Actually, what is this, Priscilla?
You mean which one?
This the
The
take
take.
1, 2, 2. Got so many take here one.
Oh, because I only select the part I want. Like I
How-
record a lot of times, then I select the part I want.
So you can drag and drop in the track that you want lah.
For example, when I record, it's like one whole thing, ma. So
Okay.
I can only choose. I can choose the part I want. Then the other I crop it.
Edit lah, editing. Like
Edit, split,
yeah.
split, and then delete.
So
Split and edit.
this one down here doesn't play lah. It's just for you to take and drop here lah.
The blue color play, but the black color doesn't.
Means it will override your original track when it comes to that part lah, is it? When it comes to that part, like let's say lah, take 65 lah, right? When it comes to that second, right, it will take the below one lah. It will overtake your audio too.
Because it will only play those I highlighted in blue. The black one it won't play.
So double vocal. You double the vocal.
Won't double one because
Won't double.
only at the point of time only one section can be highlighted, because the
Okay.
other one will become black.
Oh, okay.
How you do
So it's
that?
very useful. We got a
It's like
lot.
editing ah.
No, because here this is inserts, is it?
I don't.
Normally I will do directly to the original track. I will move it.
This
To the
what does this
original.
mean? All these are inserts, is it?
I don't know. I don't know what is that.
Oh,
It looks like split though.
okay.
Is it-
Looks like insert, looks like an insert from here, go in between here or something.
Yeah.
Because you see acoustic guitar is all clean. When yours you see got so many this like some, I think it's an insert thing or something lah.
Is it the noise? Noise.
No, it's not the noise. The noise will be
No, I
like
don't
this.
think so.
This one something to do with the text.
You see the line when you
Yeah,
cut.
good.
Yeah, maybe lah.
Okay. So it's something automated lah.
Interesting.
Okay. So this is the how we see the source lah. We have few channels. Then for example, now you have acoustic, vocal, later you want to add piano. So you just go to plus. You can add audio or MIDI and all that. Then another channel will appear here. So you can have Logic Pro can have unlimited channels. You can go up to 100, 200 channels or so. Okay. So this is the audio part. Then how you want to add in audio, you just right click. Since you don't have a channel, it didn't show lah. If you right click on the track, it will show import media. Then you import. Then you can arrange the sync and all that lah. Okay. So once you insert the audio, this section is the solo and mute. Okay, so for example, now I add in ready. I add in, okay, so I want to only hear I'm playing now. I only want to hear I go from here. Let's say I want to hear the guitar only. I just solo the guitar. I only hear the guitar. Okay, then now I want to hear the vocals. I just solo the vocals.
一种伪装自己不同，一种笑着逞强。对于爱。
So the function for solo button is to hear each track individually when you mix lah. So why you do that? Because when you mix, you don't hear all together. You hear one by one. Okay. So far okay until here?
Okay.
Okay. So once you have these two tracks, we go with two tracks lah. For this case, two tracks. You know how to use your solo and all that. So this one track is this, you see, acoustic guitar. This is one track. This is vocals track. Then these two is like the master for this lah. Stereo is considered a master also. So these two you just ignore. You just play with the master if needed. And the one that mostly we will play is the channels lah. So for example, first, since acoustic one is in channel 1, so we mix for channel 1. So where mixing comes in is all these effects here lah. So you can see now the effects are all activated. I switch off all so that you can see the difference. So I only play for acoustic. Now it's without mixing lah, as how you recorded from your phone. Then one by one I switch on, then you can see the difference. Now the gain, I added the gain. Okay, then I add compressor. Now I add EQ. Now I add reverb. Now I off the reverb. I off the EQ. I off the compressor. I off the gain. I off the oscillator. Are you able to hear the difference on your side?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So this is the overview. Now I'm going to go into one by one now, what it means. So if you see in an empty channel, okay, this one I already added. You can add as many as you want. But when you start a project, this thing will be empty, something like this. Something like this. So you can add whatever you want. You just click this arrow and choose what effects you want. So EQ, okay. So you can see EQ is here already. So you just keep adding on lah. So what I did here. So first thing I added, this is an oscillator. It's under filter and this. Why I added oscillator is because Davina used phone mic. So when she use phone mic, got some background hissing sound kan. So when you use the hissing sound, you use oscillator, it will reduce the hiss a bit. Okay, I play again, then you can see the difference. Now it's on, now it's off. Now you can feel a slight hiss.
Then you're on again.
Very slight. If you use earphones, you can hear.
Yeah.
Can you?
Now you're on again.
So oscillator, this one looks very advanced lah. If you for beginner, they got preset. You just go here. You can just choose basic or whatever lah. There's speech and voice. Or you can just choose basic 1, 2, 3. You try one by one. Or you can just play around with the frequency lah. You can see which frequency makes it the most quiet. Then you just keep to that lah. All these you don't touch. This one no need to touch. This one no need. But I don't really use this unless necessary lah. So this is oscillator.
Oscillator, what is the function of it? Like The main.
to filter the hiss sound actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
because the
If you
his sound
use-
is in a different frequency, or like.
Yeah, the hiss sound is actually a frequency. So looking at this, I think it's somewhere around like 8,000 kilohertz or something lah. You can see here. But you cannot totally eliminate it. If you totally eliminate, then it will sound fake already. Because it will start cutting some parts of your guitar. So, but this one very small difference lah. Maybe you use your earphone on your own PC. You can via Zoom. I think you can't see the difference. Because Zoom also very noisy. Zoom's audio transfer is not so high end. Okay, so the same thing lah. This on off button and here is the same lah. So you see I on off is the same.
It will light up also.
So once you set, you can see the difference. You off, you see the difference. Then you on. That's how you see the difference lah. Okay, so this is an oscillator which is very optional lah. If you use good mic, not necessary lah. Okay, next gain is one of the most important. So now you see her guitar is quite soft, right? The guitar is quite soft, so not enough signal coming into the processing. So to increase the signal, we have to add gain. So the gain, you can go same thing, it's under utilities. Okay, normally we use stereo lah. Recording normally we use stereo. Church setup we go with mono. Mono means one channel. Because
Stereo.
church setup is there are people sitting on the left and the right of the auditorium, and if you go with stereo, what you hear on the left may be different on the right hand side. So in the church is mono lah, but
Mono.
for audio recording, normally personal you use headphone what. So sometimes we can EQ, we can make the vocals be more on the left and the instrument more on the right. You can create space lah. So we go with stereo is better lah. The quality is also better with stereo. So you go every effect got stereo mono. So always we just go with stereo lah. So you add your gain. Once you click the gains control panel will come up. So you can see here I plus 12.9 dB because the guitar is very soft. But now what you're hearing is before gain. So now I add the gain, I on the gain. You can hear the difference?
Yes. Louder.
Okay, yeah. Why we need gain at the okay, now with the gain you see I off the oscillator, maybe you can see difference. Can see the difference? Maybe the starting you can hear a lot of noise. Okay.
Yeah.
I on the oscillator.
So
A bit
rewind
less.
again. Rewind to the.
This is with. This is without. Can see the difference now? Yeah. So gain is basically to increase your signal level lah. So for this, I go for like 12.9 lah. Okay. So you can, gain is just basically that. This one no need to touch lah. You just play with the gain. If it's too loud, you can reduce also. Go minus. Balance is 0. So if it's too loud, you go minus. But this one, I check. Nice one was 12.9 lah.
Why you don't alang-alang 13.0? Sorry.
Maybe my ears too sharp.
Sorry, Arvin, where do we find gain and oscillator? What's
Here? Pardon?
At the
How to find is it?
yeah, where the
Oh, you
you know
just
what?
you just go here. It
Mm-hmm.
will be empty. So these are all the effects. What is that? Columns lah. So you just click this arrow. Whatever plugins will come in. So gain goes under utility.
Utility
Stereo. It will come up lah.
stereo. Okay, and then oscillator is
Oscillator comes under filter.
filter.
Filter here.
track oscillator. Okay. So what is
Oh.
fast wah? Fast wah.
I never tried lah. You all
Okay.
can actually, it's fun lah. You can try one by one. That's how you learn. I also never tried so many of these.
Mm.
There's so
Okay.
many.
Cool. Okay.
Okay, so that's where again this. Okay, this one is a compressor.
Mm.
In church we use a single band compressor, but for recording and LogicPro, since they have it, we use multi-band compressor. So
What's the
compressor means have you all gone through the compressor video?
Mm.
If you go through the
I got
video, you'll understand lah.
anti-compressor.
I try to explain here briefly, but you want more detail, you go through the video. So compressor basically is a function. Okay, for example, you see this track, especially vocals lah. There are parts you sing soft, there are parts you go quite high, you sing quite loud, right? So to control that, it compresses the sound lah. Means after a certain level, you make the sound drop a bit. Means you press the sound. It's not cut the sound, it's compress. It's compressing the sound. So how you do that? So compressor again, you go here, you go under, it's called under dynamics lah. Under dynamics, compressor, and yeah. No, this is a single channel. I use multi-channel, multi-band.
What's the difference between the multi and single?
Okay, wait, I show you now.
Oh.
Maybe here I add the single channel first lah. So easy to understand. Okay, with the graph easy to understand. So this is a single channel, means it applies to the whole frequency, means from the lows, from the bass part until your high frequency, it apply to all lah. So if you see here, this is your graph. Okay, this is your graph, means this is, if it's straight, means no compression. No compression happens. Means if you input minus 30 dB, your output also is minus 30. If you input minus 20, your output also minus 20. So when you start using compressor, this is your compressor threshold. When I start increasing, you can see so this is the softest, this is the loudest. Okay, wait, I think I try to edit here lah, so you can see. Oh wait, I can show you here. For vocals, I use single band. Okay. So this is for the vocals. So you see the graph. That means her voice, when it's the level from here up to here, it won't compress. Once her voice goes above about minus 15, it will start to compress. So at minus 10, her input, but her output will be less than that already. But at minus 20, it's still minus 20. So this is a linear. So you can see when I play lah, it will show you this one.
你看着我眼睛， 你听着
You can see
我
the
声
dot.
音，
You can see the
无
white
微
here.
风雨，
This is how
别
much it's
忘记
reducing.
还有我站在
So it's reducing the peaks.
这里。
And you can see here the white
我
color
只
graph
想
coming
做
down.
你的太阳，
This
你
one is
的
showing how much
太
is
阳，
pressing
在
the
你的
sound.
心里呀，在你的心底呀，
So
不
you
管
can
是
see
多
the original
远的
signal
远
is
方，
higher.
不要害怕，我
Compressed signal
在
slightly
身
lower.
旁。想做你的太阳，你的太阳，在你的心里呀，在你的心底呀，你听着我声音。
Okay, I off
无
the
微风
compressor.
雨，
You will feel
别
it a bit
忘记
more
还有
harsh.
我站在这
You can see
里，
the it's like
，Yeah,
着我
ah.
声音。
yeah.
无
Now it's
微
without
风
compressor.
雨，别忘记还有我站在
Not that smooth lah.
Mm.
这里。我只想做你的太阳，你的
Okay, now I on compressor.
你听着我声音。无微风雨，别忘记还有我站在这里。我只想做你的太阳，你。
So that's understanding of compressor lah. So
So we don't need to select, change the threshold ratio. We just select voltage as
you need to, depends on how much you want to compress. So zero yeah. You want to ask something?
So like depends on the vocalist also lah.
Yes,
Some
yes.
maybe need more because they are
Yeah.
louder, like maybe like Nochi, then need to
Yeah.
compress a bit more.
Especially Nochi able use heavy compression. Like they
Mic control also affect.
it's like if simpler understanding, you can say like automated volume control lah. Means the softer part is another reason why we use compressor because the master volume here we put it high because the soft parts we can't hear nicely, so we set high. But the problem is when they go loud, it becomes too loud. So because of that, if we don't use compressor, we have to reduce the master volume. When we reduce the master volume, the softer parts become too soft. So we want a balance of both. So what we do, we make the softer one to hear nicely, make it loud. We use compressor to compress the higher parts, the louder part.
If
Yeah.
we this compressor lah during live, right, it does affect with the person's mic control as well, right?
Yes, yes. If they kiss the mic,
Okay.
then I have to put heavy compression.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question: Do we
Yeah.
only the vintage FET?
Normally I use, if single channel, I go with FET lah. These are all actually all these. What are the difference? Is those days compressor is not on a software. It's on like the conventional EQ they fix in the rack like amplifiers. So each of these is like different brand.
The big one.
Those days one got so many wires one. So it's like maybe this one is Focusrite, this one Yamaha one, this one different brand. So it's like now all in software, it looks so simple lah. So you can try the sound lah. Actually, I prefer vintage FET lah.
Then if this one, if I want to change, I click which one? Got threshold, ratio, makeup.
Okay, I haven't gone to there yet. So you understand the graph already? Okay, so what does these knobs mean? Now you must, since you understand the graph, you see when I change the threshold, this is threshold. So when I change the threshold, you can see how much is compressing.
Woohoo!
Yeah, so this is like very heavy compression lah.
Okay. Wow,
You
this
can
one
test.
different way.
Okay, I show you. I show you heavy compression. Too much compression will make it too suppressed also lah.
Mm.
你总感到落寞沮丧，你总感到失望。对于人生未来，总有太多
You see how much is being cut?
迷惘。
That's a lot.
你总伪装自己不痛，你总笑着逞强。对于爱情害怕触碰，
Maybe with
放
other
弃挣
instruments add on
扎
a。bit. Kena drown
你
lah.
看着我
Yeah.
眼睛，
You see this one,
你
you get
听
some
着我声
clarity
音。
details, you know. If
无
I
畏
compress
风
too
雨
much,
别忘记还有我
you
站
lose the
在
clarity. And it becomes
这
noisy.
里。
Mm.
我只想做
Yeah.
你的太阳，
Yeah,
你
yeah,
的
yeah, less
太
noisy
阳
now.，
在你的心里呀，在你的心底
So you
呀，
need to
不
have a
管是
balance
多
there lah.
远的远方，不要害怕，我
This one
在
need to
身
listen also lah. Means,
Yeah,
when we
sound
do this.
mixing is all about listening, nothing visuals. You can't
What
mix
the
by
graph?
seeing. That
Yeah.
one is just a guide. You can't base on that.
Yeah.
You must go by ear. Because if you go by visual, then you tend to limit yourself.
Mm.
Those days you don't have all this. You just have knobs, so you just have to listen. Now you got graph and also you can see lah. Then okay.
Ratio ni makeup attack release doesn't
Ada wait.
ada. Wow, so many.
Okay. So threshold is how much you want to compress. Ratio is how fast you want, how steep you want it to compress. You see. Sudden compression. This is like you go here, pop, suddenly soft. This is very heavy. You can see the graph. So means at what does it mean? 2 to 1 is if at input is 2 dB, output will be minus 1 dB. If I go at 3, input 3 dB, output 1 dB. You get the concept or not? The ratio. So if you don't understand the calculation, you just see the graph lah. Means at this at 2 to 1 ratio, slight compression only. Once it hits this place, a bit only it gets softer. But if you set your ratio to let's say 20, once it hit this place, suddenly it becomes too soft, the higher parts. So normally for vocals, our ratio is like 2.5, and like very heavy bold voice vocalists about 4 lah, not more than 4 lah. Normally it's 2.5 to 3.5 around there. So that's for ratio lah. So like for Priscilla's one, her ratio is 2.7, around 2.7. Okay, makeup gain. What does it mean is, now you already compress, you make your sound, your softer volume to sound nice, and your higher volume to like come within range, so you get like a balanced sound, right? So that one will automatically reduce your overall volume a bit. So what makeup gain does, it helps to compensate that. So you see your makeup gain, the whole graph will go up and down. It's like another gain for compressor lah.
Okay.
So
So
for
it's like if it's compressed a bit, you need to compress like a bit more, then the makeup can make it
yeah,
can
makeup
make up
gain
lah.
is like makeup gain
Make up
is
the
like
volume.
like if you like some like let's say like loud voice like high pitch like notchy, we use heavy compression, and what happens when they go to the loudest, because of heavy compression, their loudest won't feel that, you won't feel the dynamic already. because it becomes soft. Then that's where we use makeup gain to make it boost more lah. You don't use it always lah. The balance is 0. So like Priscilla's one, I didn't use, is 0. If you really need, you use lah. Okay, then knee is the, I think knee, I think you don't touch lah. That one not so important, difficult to understand. Okay, attack means how fast you want your compressor to kick in. Means after your signal goes above your threshold, you're giving it 15 milliseconds to start working. And release, okay, after it compresses, how fast it let the signal back to normal state. So that is 51 millisecond. But this one a bit advanced lah. For vocals and beginner, you just click to auto. You just click auto, it will do it for you. You don't have to touch all this.
Click auto.
Yeah, you just go with auto. You just play with your threshold, ratio. I think these two enough lah. So this is basic single channel compressor. So the same concept, now I'm going to apply to multi-channel. So multi-channel, same thing under dynamics. So for here, acoustic guitar, I use multi-channel. So you go under dynamics, multi-pressor, here. Okay, the difference is same concept. You see there's a makeup gain, there's threshold, there's ratio, all this peak, attack, release, and all that. The only difference is just now, if you compress.
Can you enlarge this thingy?
Wait,
okay, thank you.
Okay. So just now that compressor applies to the whole signal range. Means before that, you know, this frequency range. Let me explain. The paling left 20 hertz is the the bass lah. The bass side is the lowest frequency. This one is the treble side. 20 kilohertz is the highest frequency, high pitch lah. And mid, we call mid is around like 500 to 1 or 2 kilohertz. You can call it mid already. Above that is high range, low range, mid. So multi compressor, what it does, you can compress at separate frequency. Means you only want to compress the higher frequency. So you can play with. So this section 4, you can see is from 7,500 up to 20 kilohertz. So all the parameters here are only for this range of frequency. So same goes to
itu frequency, right? Low and high. Like what's the difference? How it sounds? High, is it the two sharp one, and low are those more bassy one? Like
yeah. That one, okay, that means before I explain this, I explain EQ first lah. Then you can understand this. I jump to EQ first. So EQ is the same equalizer under here, under EQ, channel EQ, stereo. So that's what I use here, channel EQ. Okay. So channel EQ, if you see, okay. So this is the EQ for, this is for who? Okay, this is for vocals. I think I show you the guitar. Okay lah, vocals also
guitar.
can.
This is the guitar one, the acoustic guitar.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're
This is
showing
the
the
guitar
guitar.
one. Okay.
Mm.
So in this EQ, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points you can adjust all here. Wait, before that, let me take a picture so that I can come back to this.
Sorry, I can put larger.
Okay.
I cannot.
Wait. Okay, can. Can see now, big enough.
Very big, very big.
Okay. So now, like what I explained, 20 to 20 hertz to 20,000 kilohertz. So like what Ming Chu said, the lower one is the bassy side, then mid and the high pitch side. So you want to hear the sound. This is the most important part of mixing lah. You get the frequency clean lah. So before that, I reset first. Set as default. Okay. Oh, must off. You click, you can on off lah. Okay. This one I didn't use this point. So I can use this point to show you the difference. Okay, now we play the acoustic guitar track. Oh, sorry. Okay. Now you see, I increase the around 227 hertz. Can you see the guitar gets bassy? And when I move around the frequency, you see the difference. So bass guitar is normally around 30 to 150 hertz bass guitar lah. So bass guitar EQ normally we play around this range only. Normally 100 hertz is very boomy. One don't sound good, right?
Yeah.
So normally what?
The bass macam very.
Yeah. So we call this bad frequency lah for this instrument. So you sound it bad.
What did you do with the enlarge and the sit down?
Okay, this one you can. Okay, now if you see here, they call it the Q lah. That one is a Q, which is like 2.1 is a Q range. So like this only affect like 150 to 250. I can make it wider to affect like 100 to 500 or even wider. So this one is depends lah. Sometimes like very small one part only kacau, you go to very narrow. Go to very narrow. So this is you have to find. So this one, if at the center line 0 means balance lah. No, you don't add, you don't reduce. If you go up, you add. If you go down, you reduce that frequency. So for example, just now the acoustic, very bad here. Not here. Wait. Yeah, this one. You can see, sounds bad, right? So we can cut lah. Make it clean. Make it clean. So that's basics of how you EQ lah. So same thing. You can use the other points. You go to the maximum. You sweep. Go through all the frequency. This one also don't sound good. So if you see, actually I already EQ. You see somewhere there. I cut. So it don't sound good. So I clean it up. So same thing.
That one sounds so bad. 1K to 2K, that one sounds so bad.
Yeah. So sound bad.
Yeah.
But you can't be. Sometimes this is like maximum lah. You go like around here because we don't have many bands also to do. So we choose the top, the row one lah. So you go up, you see. So you see once you pass 5K, it's like very high pitch one already.
What instrument need to be more high frequency normally?
What frequency instrument? Actually, all instrument covers all frequency, but special ones like bass all on the low frequency, and it cannot be high. All electric covers from about 300 onwards actually. If you can vocal range is around 500 to 2K, around there, vocal range. But that doesn't mean you don't have others. You still have others. If not, fine. If not, it will sound chachat one.
Arvind, you said when you cut away, or you cut away and things like that, when you drag it there, is it automatically saved already, or do you need to click something to register the change?
For Logic Pro, no. Once you leave it there, it's there. Like
and then you do this for the whole song. That means the whole, the whole clip you do this.
For each channel. Means this is just for acoustic, then you have to do again for the vocals. And this what I'm showing you is just one band. There are so many bands.
What is the band?
One by one and edit.
Okay, pardon?
Do we need to click the band on top one by one?
Yes. Yeah. So that what I showed you just now is just to give you the difference of what the different frequencies sounds like. So for, let's say, this acoustic guitar, this is my EQ. So for the acoustic guitar, it sounded like no body, like more on the high side. So I boosted a bit on the 134 Hertz. Then there's now somewhere here sounded quite bad, right? So that's why I reduced around the 425 Hertz. Then once I reduce this, since it's a phone mic, not so much detail. So I want more detail and more of the guitar strumming sound. So I found that one somewhere around here lah. So you can see the so here then some details. I want more of the clarity here and all that. So I can on and on one by one. You can see the difference. So for this, now it's here. I off this. You see, you lose a bit of the clarity. Now it brings out a bit. Okay, then here, this one, the frequency is not good. So I cut it. But if I don't cut it, you can feel like something muddy and a bit clumsy sound. So I cut it, make it a bit cleaner.
Cut it means you drag it down, is it?
Yeah, anything below the center line is cut.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
the center line is balanced. You bring it above the line means boosting. Below the center line is cut. You imagine this dot as your this fader lah, this volume, and like your volume somewhere in the center. You up, you boost, you down, you cut. So up down is actually a volume for that particular frequency.
I see. And then the same changes will apply to the whole clip lah, right?
Yes, this one the whole clip. EQ you cannot it applies to the whole thing lah.
I see.
So for this guitar, I feel the bass, the low ends not to say not there, but not enough. So I just add a bit on the low ends here. So if I off that, it sounds like too dry and flat. So I add a bit of the low part, give a bit of the bass feel. If you notice, really, you can hear the lower notes are clearer. Without this, you see it's more flat. Yeah. So not necessary you must use all the ones here. You can just make do with maybe two. If you find this one sounds nice, doesn't matter. Okay. So if you see the symbols, these are all like bell curves lah. We call this bell curve because it looks like a bell. So you can bell inward, top up way or down ways lah. This symbol we call it shelf. We have two shelves on the far ends. So shelf means it's not like a bell. It's like this. The graph is like this. Like after like that means anything below 100 is fully reduced. So that's the shelf 4. You have another shelf here. So like you see here, I increase 8,400 hertz onwards. I increase all the way lah. If you use a bell, it will go up and come down. Means you don't get this part. But if you use a shelf, you gradually increase the whole region. So these are shelves, we call it. Then this is a low cut. This is a high cut. It's something like a shelf, but this is fully cut lah.
Like the compressor lah.
No. Compressor is suppressed. It makes the same sound softer. Cut means cut. Memang you don't hear anymore. So for
what do you use the cut for? What type of noises?
This one is for the high pitch and low pitch sound.
Okay, for example, recording. Recording we don't really use because not so necessary lah. But in live, like in church, normally vocals we cut up to 80 hertz, 90 hertz because it sounds muddy. Something like this. So even though your voice, that's why in the church, when you sing, your voice is like very clear because we cut all your muddy, the bassy sound like 80 hertz and below already. And depends on people also. Those with heavy bold voice, we cut even further. Some less. Some we even cut up to 150 hertz, 200 hertz also we have. Okay, so that is low cut. High cut, no matter what you do, sounds too high pitched, too screechy, you can cut also. So you want to hear that, the difference, I play for you. I do the low cut first lah. You see, you don't have the low frequencies anymore.
Yeah, it changes the whole graph.
Yeah.
Middle one you adjust.
Yeah. So what you mean 390 hertz and below, you're not hearing anymore now. Okay, that is low cut. High cut, let's say it's too high pitch, you can't control. So you don't hear the high anymore, you only hear the lower end. Actually, the hissing sound, we can use the EQ, but you lose clarity on the acoustic already lah. You see now no more hiss sound, but the acoustic sounds quite bad. Okay, so EQ got it ready. So what for recording, what we do after we play with all this, we normally, if it's necessary, we push up like the overall gain to like 2 or 3 dB lah, depending on the loudness. This one is done only for recording.
Okay, means we adjust and fine tune already. Only we go to the gain because
yes.
the over. Okay, that's
Yeah,
the bigger.
That's like the overall volume of the final EQ output lah.
Means how large you want the EQ to sound like to be lah. The gain.
Yeah, again like compressor. Like for this one, I did not cut a lot, but there are some cases you need to cut many places. You all there's nothing above the line. All you cut. There's nothing boosted. So automatically the overall volume will drop also because you cut certain frequency already. So to make up the thing, you increase the gain lah. So once you understand this EQ, how the frequencies sound, now we can go to the multiprocessor. So the same graph now you can understand 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. You can see 20 to 20 kilohertz. So this now is about adjusting the tone. Now, like let's say the guitar is on the high pitch, I feel is like uncontrollable. So I want to suppress on the high pitch only, but the others I don't want to suppress. So what I can do, I can...
Compressor is for the volume and the EQ is for the tone.
Yes, compressor is for the volume. Okay, so for multiprocessor, okay, I play the acoustic, then you can see.
Who is Sky Arnold?
Oh, that one my friend. He simply joined. Okay. Okay, if you notice the blue graphs, you can see for band 1, it's compressing up to 160 hertz. Means from 20 to 160, I apply a bit heavy compression. Then from 200 to 1K, a different ratio, different threshold. So if you only want to hear the band 1, I solo. This this is how the band 1 sounds. From 20 hertz to 160 hertz of the guitar, this is how it sounds, which makes the mix like muddy, boomy, like other like a bit messy sound lah. So I don't want that a lot. So you see the graph here, it tends to drop. Dropping means it automatically cuts wherever it goes high lah. And if you see down here, the light blue is what is coming in, the dark blue is what going out. So you can see after like 24.5 dB, it starts to reduce. Okay, what if I don't do this, how it sounds? I bypass. You see it's a bit messy now. If I don't compress the lower frequency. Now I on back for the band 1. It sounds cleaner now. So you can, same thing goes for this. So if you notice for this guitar channel, you need it compression mostly for the lower end and the middle lah. Okay, if I off, you see the difference. Okay, you see how compressor works, huh? At the softer region, it doesn't really kick a lot. It doesn't really function a lot at the softer parts. But when you strum harder, you see it kicks in. Okay, you see it's starting to kick in.
So higher amplitude, it will function more.
Yes. So you hear without the compressor now. I on and off. You can hear the difference. You can see it's a bit more cleaner, right?
Mm.
Okay.
So when you adjust, we adjust this one, only the compressor threshold that we change.
Yeah. So now you see I changed the threshold. You can see the difference. Okay, I only play this part lah. Okay. So I solo the first thing. Okay, you see I increase the threshold to make it compress even more. It kira almost cut already. No more already that frequency. It's always compressed.
What did you press up and down?
No, you see the my mouse I can scroll.
Oh, mouse.
You just put your arrow on top, you just scroll your mouse, it will change. Okay, you see now 60 dB is like complete cut lah. You don't hear the frequency anymore actually.
Arvin, do we determine the value by just listening? By just
Yes,
listening to
listening, nothing on visuals again. You don't go by numbers. You just see sound is all about hearing.
I'm sorry, I don't really get the BYP and solo button.
Okay.
What is
solo means if I click solo, I'm only hearing this part of the track. Not track, this part of the frequency. So you see 160 hertz. Sorry, I didn't show this part. Yeah, this one is also changeable. You can change. You can see hundreds. You can, yeah, you can move. You can move that bar.
And solo means only that is on. Bypass means
Only, yeah. So solo means I'm only now hearing from 20 hertz to 140 hertz of the guitar. So I'm only hearing this now. So now why we need to solo, so that we can process this region only for now. So you see, like, it's fully compressed. Now I reduce the threshold a bit, which was what I found was 24.5 just now. Okay, around there. Okay. So now this is, you're only hearing this, solo only this. Okay, bypass means we off the compressor to see the difference. You see the difference? This is without, you bypass. This is with. This is without. So that's the function of bypass solo.
Because it sounds rather compressed now, right? We want it to sound like that.
Depends, because for this guitar, it was sounding too boomy on the lower end, so I wanted to compress on that lah. Depends.
now
like
he's
yeah.
now he's just doing the lower part. He didn't on the full
Now
compressor
yeah,
yet.
solo
So you
we
only
only
hear
can
you hear the
only.
muddiness part. Just now adjusting the muddiness part. You haven't go to the higher frequency ones.
I
So
see.
he
So
just
now
focus.
so you're
on
going
this,
like
so he solo this.
So actually for this guitar, for this acoustic guitar track, I only compress 20 hertz to here at this range, and here from around 140 to 1100 hertz at 19.5 threshold. But you notice this range I never compress. You see the whole track I didn't compress. You just observe the whole track. I only compress on the lower ends. Why I did this? Because acoustic supposed to, like, sound more on the mid, on the high part, so it gives more detail. And so the difference with this and the single channel will compress with one threshold level from 20 all the way up to here. So it compresses all this lah, which I don't want. This one I want to leave it original. I don't want to touch this. I don't want to compress the higher range. I only want to compress the lower part. So that's why I use multiprocessor. But depends on instrument again lah. If bass, you don't go and compress the lower one lah. Bass, maybe if you don't like the higher end of the bass, you can compress the higher end.
The look ahead 2 millisecond one standard lah.
Yeah, this one I'll just leave it lah. This one.
Okay.
This one all you just leave it. This one is pretty standard lah. All this. The most we play is threshold, ratio, makeup gain. This one additional is the frequency bar lah. You can where you want to play. You can play with this. This one is like the EQ thing also lah. Means if you set to 140, so it will compress at 24.5 dB from 20 to 140. Maybe you want higher frequency, you can go up to this. So at this range, it will go from here to here lah. So the difference with this and single channel is this one you can separate out the frequency and compress separately. Single channel, once you apply, it applies to the whole frequency.
Mm.
But in church, our X32 don't have this one for each channel, so we just use single band lah, single compressor. Okay, this one okay, got it ready?
Can good.
Basic lah. Then you play around, then you can understand. So same lah. It goes to this. If let's say lah, you don't want 4 regions, you only want to like the whole frequency. You want to make it separate to 2 parts only. You can off. You just off. It becomes 2.
Oh.
You can off, on and off. You can decide how many you want. So actually, if you notice here, I did a slide, very slight compression, 15 and 12. So when I play the track, you can see the thing moving slightly lah, very minimal lah. So actually, I can even make it like this lah, actually, if I want. Because it's like almost similar, 15 and 12. So that's the compressor part. Okay. So actually now your sound fundamental, your raw signal, you make it nice ready, cantik ready. So if you see here the signal flow, your raw audio come in, first go to your oscillator, remove the hissing sound, go to your gain. This arrangement is important. You cannot it won't sound good if you EQ all first, then finally put in your gain. Your gain must always come first because your signal must be strong entering, then only you can EQ and all that properly. Yeah, so the standard flow is come to gain. If you're using the oscillator, come with oscillator, then gain. Then you must compress first. Use your compressor. Then only go to your EQ. So this is actually a signal flow. So if you can arrange this lah. This one makes a difference. You must arrange it in the proper sequence lah. So the proper one is gain, compressor, EQ.
Okay. Means we do those bigger picture one. Only we come down to the detail lah.
Bigger picture, you mean?
Like gain is the main one ma. Then we only come down to the detail.
Gain means in summary, your signal from the guitar is coming in to the gain first. So it's not strong enough, because if you don't gain it up first, no point you EQ or compress because your signal is not strong there. So initially you make it strong. Okay, after you make it strong, you go to the compressor and compress whichever parts which you feel is too loud, because no point EQing the louder parts, then only compress. So you compress whichever you don't want first. So once you compress, your gain is nice. You compress whichever you don't want, balance ready. Okay, then you play with your tone. So when you play with your tone, it's the EQ lah.
Then after that only add effects.
So once you EQ cantik ready, okay, now you hear the guitar is without effects. It's just gain, processor, and this one you can actually ignore it lah for a while. The oscillator is just because to remove the hissing. So now gain, compressor, and EQ, you hear the track. It's already quite clean ready now. So I off one by one, you can see the difference. Gain is obvious lah, it's the volume. So processor, you normalize the sound. Then you play with the frequency. this is nice ready, right, as a raw signal. So now we add the effects lah. Effects you can, we call it like creating space lah. Means why we call it space, because the bigger the room, actually you don't need effects because you have natural reverb already. Those days they don't have all these effects processor. That's why they have all this opera house and all that. So the architecture of the opera house is designed to give natural reverb already.
Yeah, sound very nice.
Yeah, so those days they got no all this. They just mic, speaker, but speaker all very complex calculation where the speaker must point to, which wall must reflect. So that's the real how they did reverb those days. But now it's all software based lah. Okay, so for reverb, the main things that we will see is the pre-delay and the length, and also dry and wet signal is the most important. Dry signal means signal without the reverb, and wet signal is the fully reverb signal, means fully processed signal. So you need to have a balance of both. You try to blend these two in lah. This graph, don't worry of this graph. You can just leave it lah. So let's say I play, yeah. Okay, so when I play, you see when I change the parameters here, you will see how the reverb sounds different. Pre-delay means you want to hear the reverb come a bit later, like not together. You'll understand when I change this one. Length is how long you want the effects of the reverb to be. So when I change the parameter, I think you'll understand. I play, then I keep changing, then you see. Okay, before that, I increase the wet signal so that you can hear the reverb better. Okay. Oh, sorry, I on first. I on the reverb. Okay. Okay, now I increase the pre-delay. You see, it's slow behind. This sounds nice lah. Okay, so for length, this one like very short, so actually you can't hear already. This is maximum. Size is like actually emulating your room space lah. It's like the lower percentage you're playing in a small room.
Sounds like good qua just now. This one is like a cave.
This one like the big hall, big empty hall lah. This one like playing in a big empty hall. Okay. Then now you play with this. You can play with. If you off the wet signal, you're not hearing any reverb actually. If you only want to hear the reverb, you off your dry. This is the only the reverb process one you're hearing. So it don't sound nice also, it just reverb. So we need to mix a bit lah. So for reverb, this is one of the reverbs only. They have few types of reverb in Logic Pro. So if you notice here for guitar, I use space D. So if you want to see the types of reverb, you go here, reverb. Okay, space D is space designer. Space designer. For vocals, if you see, I use two reverbs, silver verb and chroma. So you go here, reverb, you got chroma verb, you got silver verb. Okay. So guitars one, we only use one reverb lah. So that one you saw is space D. Actually, you can play with silver verb and chroma. You can mix and match, see which one sounds nice. This one I just simply tried this, sounds nice, so I just leave it lah. Okay, so if we go, okay, you want to see the silver verb, we have to go to vocals. Okay, we go to vocals. So vocals same, I no need to run through, it's the same thing, gain. Okay, let me on one by one lah, so you can see the difference.
你总感到落
So we
寞
on the
沮
gain,
丧，你总感到失望，
single band compressor,
对人生未来
EQ.
总有太多。
Oh yeah, there's a de-esser here for vocals. Okay, what de-esser? You know the, especially female voice lah, the SH sibilance is very strong. You got the sound, you know.
And the PST.
Yeah, that thing. So
PST,
de-esser
yeah.
is to reduce that SS thing, essing sound. So you can use this preset. They have preset. Female voice, especially for Chinese words, got a lot of this. So yeah, even for our church SM's mixer, I add in de-esser effects. So you can use the preset lah. Mild difference, but it does give a difference. You may use, I don't know, you when I play, you see, you can see the difference or not.
这里，
This is on.
这里，
This is off.
这里。
You can see the high pitch. There's a bit extra if you off it.
You play the chorus. The chorus has a lot of S. Can play
Okay.
the. So.
我只想做你的太阳，你的
This is off.
太阳，在你的心里呀，在你的心底呀，不管
This is
是
off.
多远的远方。你的太阳，在你的心里呀，在你的心底呀，不管是多远。你的太阳，在你的心里呀，在你的心底呀，不管是多远的远方。
Got difference? I think you can't hear quite clearly lah. When you mix, you hear directly. It's better. You can hear the difference. Very mild. And you can also set here. You can see
I
here
think
smoothing.
maybe-
Yeah, smoothing. You can set how strong you want it to be also lah.
I think use earphone can hear better.
Yeah, your phone can.
The-
I think through Zoom it's not easy to hear.
Using
Like on
earphone.
my end, I can hear the difference. Okay.
This is under
so,
reverb also.
no, this one under where?
De-esser.
Oh, here under dynamics.
Dynamics de-esser.
Yeah.
And then we add this before, after the EQ, lah, right?
These are all considered effects already. So all the effects come after EQ.
Okay.
The fundamental is gain, compressor, EQ is a must-have for all. Gain, compressor, EQ. Always remember these three must-have. Then the reverb, the de-esser, all that is add-ons only. You don't have also, never mind. Like just now you see the guitar, you don't have the reverb, still sounds nice already. But these three must have. So since like this track vocals got a lot of the S sibilants, so I add de-esser lah. Like for our worship videos, I didn't add because not so noticeable. And maybe because you use your good mics, it picks up all the frequency range. So it picks up to the 20 kilohertz. Phone mic don't go that far one actually. That's why phone mic is less clarity. Okay, so after de-esser, this one I played around with silver verb and chroma verb. Sounds good lah. So that is all under the reverb, chroma, silver verb. The guitar was space D. Okay. So we go with silver verb first. Same thing, just that like what I told you, I think space D was like design of from one company's effects processor. This one silver verb is another company one. Actually, all this is like I think Apple pays them to use their concept. All this is actually those days is all each analog consoles in the studio. There's so many consoles. All these are those things lah. Now you just see in one small window. Those days this is like a DVD player size. So if you have 30 channels, you'll have 30 of these verbs processor in a stack. So that's why that comes the cabinet in the studios lah. One cabinet for effects, one cabinet for all the EQ. Those days lah. Okay, so now silver verb. Okay, we play Now it's without lah. So I
一
on.
种伪装自己不同，一种笑着逞强。对于爱情害怕
Same thing.
触
Mid delay.
碰，放弃挣扎。你看着我眼睛，你听着我声音。无畏风雨，别忘记还有我站在这里。
So reflectivity
我
is
只想做你的
like
太阳，你
the
的
hall lah, the
太
hall
阳，
size.
在你的心里呀，在你的心底呀，不管是多远的远方，不要害怕，我在身旁。想做你的太阳，你的太阳，在你的心里呀，在你的心底呀，
Size
就
also
算
the
不
same
能
thing.
在你身旁，也要奋力为你而发光。也许有一天你不再记得我
So I'm，just
关
give it
于我
100.
们之间所有的所有，没关系，只要你
Then same thing.
幸
Bright signal and red signal.
福就够。我只想做你的太阳，你的太阳，在你的心里呀，在你的心底呀，不管是多远的远方，不要害怕，我在身旁，想做你的。
So that's the reverbs controls are basically the same lah. You see, they have here also you have trade, yeah.
Good question.
Ah.
What's the difference between reverb and echo? Like, what is necessary to add when and
Actually, echo is reverb lah.
oh, sorry.
In soundboard you don't find echo. That one.
Yeah, that's why I was like, and some
that
I saw got
one-
echo and reverb, and why so weird? Like I used
one-
Mixpad last time, and I saw why got echo and then got reverb some more. Got
Echo
two.
is a combination of reverb plus delay lah actually. That
Oh,
one like
okay.
the very simple one, they call it echo, they campur both but don't sound good lah. Here got delay also, but I
yeah.
didn't use.
Don't
Not
use too much.
necessary lah. There?
Yeah.
No, the delay is separate, There here.
Really? Oh.
There?
Oh,
Yeah,
delay and echo is different.
I didn't use delay because
Okay.
not necessary for this. So you can
Okay.
see echo is under here.
Mm.
But delay is like sounding later lah. Like you sing first, then your sound like you hear your behind, but
Hello,
don't sound
low,
nice lah.
low, 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 low.
That thing.
Like that lah.
You don't
Okay.
need that lah. Karaoke box you need lah. So we go with reverb only lah. So yeah.
Sounds really nice.
So this you see the space D and this almost similar. You have pre-delay. Here they call it reflectivity. Here they call it length. Size. Then output, dry, wet is the same thing. So it's just different processes only. Okay, so this is silver verb. Another reverb I use is chroma reverb. So chroma reverb, a bit extra features. I only, the same thing, the frequency EQ again, you can see 20 Hertz to 20 kilohertz.
你总感到落寞沮丧，你总感到失望。
20 Hertz to 20 kilohertz. I only want this reverb to function from around 150 Hertz
你总伪装
up
自
to
己不同，你总笑着逞强。
5K, only this range.
对于爱情害怕
I find
触
this sounds nice
碰
lah if only use this range.
放弃挣扎。
So what you're hearing now is
你看着我眼睛，
so the same thing.
你听
Size,
着我声音。
density is something like the length.
哦，微风雨，
Pre-delay,
别忘记还
you
有
can play
我
with the
站
pre-delay
在
here.
这
Attack just leave it 0
里。
lah. So pre-delay, size,
只
density,
想做你的
dry
太
wet.
阳，你的太阳，在你的心里
Okay,
呀
so when I
在
on,
你的心
you can see the
底呀，
difference.
不管是多远的远方，不要害怕，
哇
我
the
在
rainbow
身旁。
But this one, I'm
想
using
做
very
你的
little. You
太
see
阳，
20%.
你的太阳，在你
How
的
it
心
really sounds
里
is
呀
like，this.
在你的心底呀，就算不能在你身旁。
Oh, like toilet lah.
也要奋力为
Yeah.
你
So I
而
use very
发
little.
光。也
Yeah,
许
what?
有一天，你不
The
再
title
记
there is
得
room,
我
right?
关于我们
It's
之
a
间
setting
所
that you
有
choose
的
lah.
所有，没
Where
关
ah?
系，只要
The
你
under box,
幸
there's a room
福。
above the graph there
这
in the middle.
个
Is it a setting?
Oh yeah,
我
yeah.
只想做
That one
你
is
的
like a
太
preset lah.
阳，你的
You
太
can play
阳，
around
在
also lah.
你的心里呀，
Can
在
put
你的
theater.
心底呀，不管是多远的远方，
Digital,
不要害
digital.
怕，我在身旁。想做你的太阳，你的太阳，在你的心里呀，在你的心底呀，就算不能在你身旁，也要奋力为
So
你
room, then you play
而
with the same controls lah. Reverb is basically these controls only. So this one is actually
你
very
总
little. I
感到
put
落
about
寞沮
20% saja.
丧，你总感到失望。对于人生未来总有太
Okay.
多
So you can
迷
see the difference now. I use 2 reverb.
你总伪装自己
Now
不
I
同，你总
off
笑着
the silver
逞
verb. I
强。
only use the chroma verb.
对于爱情害怕触碰，放弃挣
Then now I off the
扎。
chroma verb.
你看着我眼睛，
Now it's very dry.
你听着
I
我
add
声
this
音。
a bit difference.
哦，
Then you
微
blend
风雨，
with the silver
别
verb.
忘记还有我站
Sounds nice
在
lah.
这里。我只想做你的太阳，你的太阳，在你。
So once you're done all, you do each and every for each channel lah. So acoustic you do all, vocals you do all. Okay, then all done, then you play together.
Sorry, Arvin, just now you said like the chroma,
Uh-huh.
right? The chroma you set very little. Where is the setting that you set very little? How do
Here.
you control the?
The wet signal.
or the wet signal is how much you want to apply.
Yes,
That-
yes.
If not we sound dry.
Okay, I play again so that you understand.
未来总有太多
I only apply 20%.
忘，
I make it 100.
一种伪装自己不同，一种笑着逞强。
You try make it 0 so she can hear the difference.
害怕
This is considered off lah.
放弃挣扎。
Consider off already.
你看着我眼睛，你听着我声音，无畏风雨，别忘记还
So it's the
有
same.
我站在
Silver verb or everything all has
这
dry and wet.
里。
The dry just like
只想
as
做
long
你
as
的
God
太阳，你的太阳，
Dry
在
is
你的心里呀，
dry
在你的心底。
is you can blend also. Dry means you're giving full of your means you're hearing full voice signal. Then you add 20%. You can also do 50-50.
Moisturizer.
You can do, let's say you don't want to hear full of your not non-reverb voice, so you make it 50%, 50. It's a matter of blending in lah. You just see which sounds nice. That's all.
放弃挣扎，你看着我眼
But if
Try
you
to
do
up the dry now.
你看着我眼睛，你听着我声音，无畏风雨，别
can off
忘
the
记
dry
还
also.
有我站在。
But if you reduce the
Sound
dry too much, what will happen? It will reduce your overall volume. Then you have to go back to your gain again lah. Gain and push up your gain some more. So normally I like to make it 100%. Then play with how much wet signal I want. Wet is processed signal, dry is unprocessed signal lah. That's all.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
So you try to make this 100. If not, you have to play again with your gain lah, your EQ, or you have to push up some more. So yeah, that's all. You can add so many more lah. You got so many other, like let's say you're using electric guitar, you don't have proper pedals also. You can just play the raw. You go here, they got M designer, guitar M. Then you got bass guitar pedal also you have. It's like a simulator lah. Means you don't have to have a bass M at home also. You just play into this, you can process here. And got so many lah actually.
Okay.
Yeah. This one is the pitch, auto pitch correction, stereo. This one Ming Chu like to play, I think.
Not really.
So this pitch correction, you can set here lah how much you want it to correct your pitch.
It might sound not natural, right?
But you can make it sound natural.
Is
For
it
example,
it's like auto tune? Is it like auto tune kind of thing?
this is the auto tune lah.
The pitch thingy.
This is the auto tune. So for example, I add to the vocals. Normally this you add after the EQ lah. No, you add before the EQ because you want to correct the pitch before you EQ. Okay. Now it's responding too fast. So I make it respond slower. So if you see this thing moving, means it's correcting. If it's not moving, it's not correcting. Then you can also choose what scale you want.
无畏风雨，别忘记还有我站在
Yeah, so that is all. These are all additionals lah.
And then how can we change the key for the instrumental?
Instrumental, you mean?
Like
Oh, that one, I think it's here. Wait,
Transpose. I saw the transpose. You
but
click
how
back
come
the
don't but how come don't have for the second track, huh? Oh yeah.
I saw transpose.
So this is here, this is acoustic. Oh yeah, you select, you have to do one by one. So this is for acoustic, this is for vocals. So you can transpose. This one I don't know lah, I'm not a musician. This one Joanne Pandai. So you can transpose here. Then you can also change your tempo here, BPM. There, here. Or you can click this track. You can go here, I think, yeah. You can go here. It's not showing here. No, here lah. You can change your BPM here. So you can change your tempo. You can change. Then this one is a library. This one help lah. You activate this help wherever you show your arrow. It will give you the hints lah. Okay.
Oh yeah, the BPM, right?
Uh-huh.
Let's say I didn't touch the BPM lah. Then I record using my own tempo. So when I insert the track is there. Then when I change the BPM, will it affect also?
Yes, it will change together. It will also, the whole track's timing also will get shorter or longer.
Oh, so when you want to like go and edit,
For
right?
example,
So
yeah.
BPM,
For example, now like this track is at 120 BPM. Then let's say because I didn't change the BPM when I import the files, so this is like default lah. So if you make it like 160 BPM, the overall track will get shorter. It affects the whole thing. Is that what you were asking?
Yeah, like so when I want to edit, right? Let's say I want to cut certain, like I want to sing it lah, I want to drag it, but it's like, is it follow VPN also, right? Like let's say
Yes.
the guitar start from this one, but I want to sing it, but I don't know how to say, like the slight difference, you cannot sing it like that. Is it caused by this one also?
Yes. If you change the BPM, you need to resync again because we kena that last week already. For Abel's coming week, Abel's song, Joanne transposed and changed the BPM. So I also didn't notice. I do process all out already. Cannot sync with his video because the track is longer than the video. So Joanne had to redo back the whole thing to the original 120 that was set. I also was figuring out after I import, like just cannot sync in the final cut in the video. Then I check the track was longer by 30 seconds. Then when I checked with Joanne, she told me, yeah, she changed the tempo and transpose. So all lari. So she had to redo all again lah. I think she didn't redo lah. That one I don't know. She just changed back because I tried change the tempo on my side, but the keyboard can't sync in already. It only changes Abel's voice, but the keyboard sync is out already. So I think she changed the tempo and resync. She adjusted the sync again lah.
So is it better, like let's say the song is like 66 BPM, I set it here, I use go more accurate, is it?
Best you set your tempo first before you start your project. Don't do all first, then
Just
go and change
normally I
as you
just
go.
leave it this one. Just normally I
Or
didn't really go and set this one on
the
this
software by
Logic.
default is 120 lah. But this one is affected more if you use MIDI lah. Now, even now if your recording is not 120, the software thinks it's 120 by capturing the audio length only. But if you use MIDI, then it's different story. Because Joanne used MIDI.
But if let's say if I sing lah and then out of tempo lah, is it possible to correct it?
Can just like this lah, just drag lah. Just drag. This one is very zoomed in lah. You can zoom into per bar also. So you see 1.3 bar, 2 bar. So 1 bar. So you can sync per beat. This one box is per beat. This one is per bar. So you can sync per beat also.
I want to ask, how does Priscilla select the parts that she want and then paste it there when there's actually original?
Oh, this one I don't know. This one Priscilla must explain now.
Priscilla,
This is the one we were discussing tadi.
Dear God,
it's like your original recording is there, but then you have that selected part that you want also. And then how do you do that?
Select it. Use your mouse and then select, like from the start. You want it to be the middle for the first track. I just select, and then maybe after that you want another track, so you select whichever part you want.
But you have to open all of them first lah.
When you record, all the track is there, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You record 10 times, right? All the 10 track is there, and then you select whichever. For example, the introduction, you want the first track you recorded. Then after that, middle part you want maybe the 4th or 5th track you record.
So you just use your mouse to select and paste there, select and paste there like that.
You need to paste. It's already there. You just select only.
Oh.
Part you want. It will become blue. The other part you didn't select, right? It is black one.
But you see on the screen, yours is all blue, right?
You can't see.
No, there you see this part is black.
Yeah.
So
but
like
actually,
this whole thing, like the front part is black.
Okay.
Okay, so
very
I think
easy.
so this is the I show you one more thing lah. They call it volume automation, but that one I have to open another file. Okay.
Wow.
This one Bennett's project lah. Not I do one lah. I just mix only. The mixing here I did lah. Okay, what Bennett did, if you notice,
so many tracks.
Okay. What I mean by volume automation, for example, at the vocals at the soft part, I want the guitar to be louder. Then when the vocals come loud, I want the guitar to go softer, or vice versa. You can do that also. How you do that? You click this button, show or hide automation. You click this, you'll get this line. So it's the same track. This is the This is vocals track. This is piano track, piano effects. This one all I don't know. This one is Bennett's advanced job lah. He use pads and all that. Okay, so when we go to automation, each track it will show you this line already. What this line means is your volume. So you see, at this part, I wanted the piano to be a bit softer because his voice went a bit soft. So the voice I maintain the volume. The piano I softened by 0.1 dB. Then okay, then I go back loud again. Then this part is softer. I reduce this part again. Then I go back again. Yeah. Then that one also you can use if you want to, like what Bennett told me, he played wrongly certain parts already. So he created another 2 more tracks. So he said until here his piano he played well, then he seal up something here. So he replayed this part again. So what he did, he come to this point, he off this volume, he increased this volume. He increased this volume. So this is the, yeah, then got pads also. So this, you see the pads, if in a song the vocalist stop playing already, but the pad still playing behind, sound not nice, right? So what we did here, the pads gradually reduce volume. So how you do that? Along the yellow line, you just click. When you click, you start getting the points. So you can just this one. This is all volume lah. So what this means? Slowly the volume increase, then the volume decrease a bit, then straight. So you just can click how many points you want. So I undo lah. Okay. So what he did here, yeah.
Then this one is very useful if let's say we record different track we want to combine sometimes.
Yeah.
Because we record differently and then the tracks, the other track sounds softer than the other one. Then we can increase the
because if you play with this volume, it like from start till end one level only. If you play this volume, this is overall. But if you play with the automated volume with these lines, you can customize which part you want loud, which part you want soft, like what you say lah. So like here, why I did this, certain part, the vocalist is soft, but the keyboard like too loud. So it overtakes the keyboard. But other part, the vocalist is loud, the keyboard is just nice. So if I reduce the master volume of the keyboard, some parts the keyboard will sound nice, some parts the keyboard will like hilang, but some parts become too loud. So what I do, I play with the keyboard's volume lah. Where I want loud, I leave it loud. Where I want soft, I make it soft. Then I want loud again. Then I soft again. Then this one is because Bennett, the last part he seal up mine. So he didn't play from starting again. He just play from this part. He patch at another track. Come here, he off this track. He on this track. So you want to see the automation in real life is quite fun. I start playing from here. You see the faders here. These volume controls are called faders lah. You see the faders here will all move automatically. I don't do anything. It follows the lines. So you see I play. See the faders, just observe. You saw that or not? It just changed like that. It's all automated. So even for the pads, Why we did this? Because I noticed vocalist, okay, I play this part.
Hallelujah, Lord. We worship you with all our heart, Lord. We worship you with all our heart. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Okay, now just nice, the pads just off together. What if I didn't use automation? The patch is still at the same level.
Hallelujah, Lord. We worship you with all our heart, Lord. We worship you with all our heart. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
You see the patch there? So that's where we use this lah. So we gradually reduce together with the vocals. So if you see the faders for pads, you see here the patch fader.
We worship you with all our heart, Lord. We worship you with all our heart. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Yeah. So this is called
Like
automation
fade
lah.
away like that.
Yeah, it's auto lah. It's all auto. This one in real life church we do ourselves lah. This is what we do in church lah. We push up, push down manually lah. Yeah, so I think that's all lah. We have covered up all the basic.
Then I want to ask, what
Yeah.
is all the bus? Bus.
Oh, bus ah. Okay, bus. Okay, bus is like another. Okay, for example, you see here. This is bus 5, right? Means you want to process, let's say, your pets. Why he use bus 5? Let me see. Okay, why he use bus 5 is he wants to apply EQ. No, sorry. He wants to apply space designer and EQ for piano and pads together. So instead of doing, he wants to apply the same thing lah, same thing. So instead of doing double job, you have to put, because you see he got 1, 2, 3, 4 piano, 3 pads. So he has to do for 7 channels, the same thing, he has to copy. So what he did, he opened up a bus channel. Bus is like a sub channel, I would say. In audio terms, we call it bus lah. On the mixer, we call it bus or aux channel. But I will say it's a sub channel. So what you do, and you can select the amount how much of signal you want to send to the bus. So he opened up bus 5. So the input for here is bus 5. You can select the buses. Okay, you select bus 5. Okay, so from piano, I want to send piano 1 to bus 5. So you see he add here also. You can add, you see sense. This is sense category. You want to send to which bus. So you can select which bus you want to send. So he sent piano to bus 5. The level, how much he want to send, he send not maximum level. He want to send a bit only. So he send like minus. This is the control volume lah. You can go up down. You can see the thing go up down. This is like you send full volume. This one you send half volume. So that one was minus 18. Okay, so he sent the piano 1. He sent the piano 2. Then he sent the. Okay, you see the pads he sent more. The pads he sent more. The pads 2 he sent. The pads 3 he sent. So Kira, like he mixed the 6 channels. He mixed how much he want. He sent to bus 5. Then in bus 5, he used 2 processor. And that one come out to the main. So you want to only listen how bus 5 sound, you can solo. You solo only bus 5, you play. Sorry. It's like a background effect lah, actually. This is bus 5. And he did the same to bus 6. Bus 6, you see, he didn't send the piano. He only sent the 3 pads to the bus 6. Then he put the reverb and the EQ there. So, okay, this is bus 6 mix. This is the mix, the bus only. If you want to hear together with the pads, okay, now I on. So now you're hearing pads 1, pads 2, pads 3. The pads 3 pads sent to the bus 6. Then he adds some reverb there. He adds some more. So now you're hearing total of 3 pads plus bus 6. So if I off, yeah.
You say 1 patch, 2 patch.
Pads are pad is this is the pads, the keyboard pads. Yeah, I play for you. This is keyboard pad. He used 3 pads here, but not for all lah. You see, until yeah, come to certain place. Oh, he patched lah. I think he from here, then here he used a different pad. So you click, you can see pad 1, pad 2, and this is pad 3. So this is the pad sound. Then this is the piano sound. Pardon?
That's equal to Holy Spirit.
So piano, so you can hear separate. When you want to hear separate, you just solo. So the bus is like you're creating another channel with a mix of certain other channels lah. So for like this bus 5, it consists of this, all this. He combined, go inside bus 5. For bus 6, he only combined this. You see this one all is 0. He only combined this, and this. These 3 he sent into bus 6. So can say actually in other words, patch this 1, 2, 3 is dry. You imagine this as dry. This is wet. It's like a manual kind of effects lah. There are so many ways to add effects lah. So this is a manual kind. So like this one all is dry, then he sent here. So this one like the wet lah. So you can control how much of the wet you want to hear. If you don't want to do the bus, what you can do, you add here lah. You add here everywhere. You add space. Here he used space D. So you add here, you add here, you add here. So if more work lah, you have to put 1, 2, 3, copy all the same thing. Then you have to set the wet and dry for each and everything. So this one, what he did, he combined these 3, sent to here. You only do in one place lah. So that's the bus 4.
And then I saw there's a distortion function. Do we usually use that? The distortion
for like electric guitar, you can use. You like something on your electric guitar pedal lah, distortion and all that. If you want to make it more distort, you can use that. For vocals, you don't use lah. So I think covered already lah. Anything you want to go through or ask?
For people who don't have Mac, what do you suggest to
You
use?
go,
Something.
okay, there's this Audacity, similar but much simpler. It's free. This one. This is like a simple one. If you want something similar to Logic Pro, it's FL Studio. But this one you have to find pirate or you need to buy lah.
What's the other one? The simpler one, is it?
That
What's it
is
called again?
Audacity.
Oh, Audacity. Okay.
This one, Audacity. This one is advanced one lah. FL Studio is quite good. This one is like a replacement for Logic Pro, but not as good as Logic Pro lah. But
Which is this one?
Pardon?
Oh, okay. Now I see your screen.
Yeah.
What? FL?
FL. Yeah, FL Studio. This is Windows, one of the best for Windows based lah.
Studio or Audacity.
Or there's one more even advanced than Logic Pro. I haven't tried also. That is Pro Tools. The expert all pakai Pro Tools. Like Brian Limas, Daniel Krishnan all use this.
FL Studio.
This one is Pro Tools. But I think Pro Tools, I'm not sure whether can use in Windows. I think can lah, wait ah.
Okay.
Pro Tools. Wait. But this one is quite advanced lah. For beginner, I think better you don't go with this lah. You can try Audacity, FL Studio, or Cubase. This one Steinberg is actually by Yamaha lah. Yamaha's software. Cubase. Or if you really want the paling simple, BandLab, all on the web. You don't need to install anything.
BandLab, you know. Okay.
BandLab.
Same concept lah, right?
There I can show you the project that we did, the King of Kings. That one I didn't use Logic Pro. It's all on BandLab. Because everyone recorded on BandLab, so I malas want to take out Logic Pro. Then need to sync again. But the sound, of course, not as Logic Pro's level. Logic Pro sound very good. Okay. I thought Zoom free 40 minutes will off. How come didn't off?
Just now I saw it says updated to unlimited.
Oh, is it? They give free, yeah.
Post updated to unlimited session.
Okay, so if you see here, BandLab, same concept. You got multiple tracks. So you can see here, click track, all these vocals, keyboard, all this. So you can just click on one. You go down here to Yeah, okay. So you go here, you on the effects, you select the channel that you want. So same thing, compressor, EQ, this the reverb. So you want to add simpler one lah. It may be different name, but yeah. So you got reverb. Here they call it a bit different. The reverb also sound a bit different. So EQ, you got this. So just now you saw the EQ in graph, right? The one is more flexible. This one we call it graphic EQ. Means it's fixed. You cannot choose the frequency. It's fixed. This is 100 hertz volume, 200 hertz, 400 hertz, 800, 1006, 3264 only. So Uni can play with, it's fixed lah. Uni can play with this. Whereas in Logic Pro, you got that graph. You can like you can choose the particular frequency, how wide you want. So that one is more advanced lah. This one is simpler one lah. This is called graphic EQ. Compressor, you don't have the graph. You just have the threshold, ratio, and those things lah. So if you understand the concept, you don't have the graph, you can do it. But if this, like you just see these knobs, you may not understand. So if you understand now, then you can just play with this. So you can add on what you want some more lah. You can add tone. This one, because the Aaron's gain, you see his signal is quite clean already, so I don't need to add gain anymore. Let's see whether I got add gain to any others. Yeah, the drum was too soft. You see the drum signals is too soft. So I added gain. So you can go to add effects, utility, gain, same thing lah. Gain, EQ. I didn't use compressor for drums because not necessary. Okay, for bass, the bass didn't have enough the power, like not so so I just added a guitar amp, make the bass more, give more body and dynamics for the bass lah. Then EG, yeah, EG. I tried distortion like what you asked, but like overly distort already because I think she already used distortion on her pedals. Then yeah, this one I use guitar amp. It's just mix and match lah. There's no right or wrong lah. You just play around. You just play around. You see which sounds nice, arrange. That's all lah. It's the same thing. BandLab, no need to install anything. You just can use it on the web. You see, I'm using it on Google Chrome now. It's just all web based.
Question just now the guitar M, right? What is presence?
Presence is, how to say, gives more on the higher end and gives more clarity lah, I would say. Something similar to treble, but treble may sound too harsh lah if you increase too much. If you blend treble and presence, the presence gives more detail lah. But I think this one Davina can explain better. Guitar pedal should have this, right?
Okay.
Okay. So yeah. That's all lah.
Yay.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
No worries.
Thank you so much.
Anything you can just chat in the group lah, then we can discuss or what.
Wow, nice.
This one takes years of practice. Like what you explained what I showed you just now. Now for me it takes like less than hour. There's less than half an hour, around half an hour to 45 minutes to mix that the tracks that you guys did, like 1 minute song, maybe like 20 minutes to half an hour. I can do it lah. But for beginner, you'll take
Wow.
time lah, because you need to really check one by one. Because like EQ,
Yeah.
once you really want to you're very rajin lah. Got tone quiz also. You train your ears to know the tones of each of every frequency.
How?
Okay.
MCO
Yeah.
method, like
So
Alvin.
once you know, there's not you Google and see, or there's certain apps also. It will play certain tone and ask you to guess the tone. So eventually you will know what tone sounds how and all that. I think last time Justin got share in the group also. I think last year. It will play a beep tone, then you guess lah. So you force yourself to memorize the tones lah in a way.
Tone quiz.
And actually each key of the guitar string, each guitar string is equivalent to a frequency also.
Oh.
Like each key in the keyboard, each key in the piano is equivalent to a frequency also. I think A note is not mistaken 440 hertz or something like that.
Hey, thanks so much, Arvin. I'm sorry, but I
Okay.
think I have to make a move first.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Hey, see you guys,
Keep in touch.
everyone. Nice learning with you all. Can't wait to hear all your
Bye.
projects later on.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Arvin.
Okay.
Arvin.
Thank
You,
you.
man.
See you.
Just
See you.
text, yeah.
Anything,
Bye.
just chat in
Bye-bye.
group lah. No issues.
Okay.
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 Thank you.
Okay.
You.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.